My name is Jordyn Jackson, and today I'm going to go over Potifla, the adaptations for an underground lifestyle. So some things that we're going to go over today are adaptations that Potifla have. We're going to look specifically into the morphological, physiological, and behavioral adaptations. And then we're going to go into some ecological roles and conservation of this group. And then we're going to do a little comparative analysis with another group. So what is Potifla? This makes up an insectivorous mammals, and they live a subterranean or underground lifestyle, meaning that they dig burrows underground. This group includes a few subgroups, the Selenodontidae, which is the Selenodons. You can see them in the middle. Also the Telepidae, which is the moles, and it's in the upper left corner. We also have the Cericidae, which are the shrews, and they're in the upper right corner. We also have the Erinaceae, which is hedgehogs, that's in the bottom right corner. And then we also have Nisophantida, which is the West Indies shrews, and that is actually an extinct group, and that is in the lower left corner. So for our comparative analysis today, we're going to be looking into the group Amphisbaenidae. These are also known as worm lizards, and this is a group of limbless reptiles which are also known for burrowing. And I chose this group specifically because they share similar morphological and behavioral adaptations with Potifla. So next we're going to go into the morphological adaptations of Potifla. You can see on the left that I've included some pictures. So these are specifically their morphological adaptations to burrowing. So I've included two which are more prominent than others. So first we have reduced eyesight. You can see in the top picture that they don't really have eyes. In most groups, they either have eyes that are really small or covered with skin. This is just an adaptation because they don't really need their eyes underground. It's dark anyway, so they don't really see much under there. They also have limbs that are specialized. You can see in the bottom picture, they're kind of bigger and they have big claws. This is just to help them digging and burrowing in the soil. So next we're going to look into the physiological adaptations. So first up, Potifla have enhanced hearing and smell. Now this is due to their poor eyesight from living underground. Generally, animals who have a poor sense of one sight will have enhanced other senses. So in this case, Potifla have enhanced hearing and smell, which is just helping them with locating predators, prey, and mates. And then since these animals do hibernate and burrow underground, they just have low metabolic rates, which help them with conserving energy. And if you're interested, on the left, I've included a cool diagram which includes some more species of Potifla, so you're welcome to pause and take a look if you'd like. So some behavioral adaptations of this group. We have burrowing. So I mentioned burrowing before, but what it actually is just the group digging tunnels in the ground using their strong limbs. And these tunnels provide shelter, and they also provide a place for nesting and foraging. Potifla also go into hibernation. This is just in cases of food scarcity, so in the winter time or when there's not as much food around, they will go into hibernation and conserve energy to survive in rough times. I also mentioned that they're nocturnal, and this just means that they're awake during the night instead of the day. Some ecological roles of Potifla include their burrows that they make. So these may provide shelter for other animals. For example, if the Potifla make a burrow and then they leave to make another one, the previous burrow might hold a shelter for another animal who's unable to make one and needs a place to live. They also take part in nutrient cycling, so nutrients can actually go down the burrows and it brings it deeper into the soil. This group also holds a home for mites and similar bugs on their skin. And then Potifla also has an important role in the control of insect populations. They are insectivorous, which means that they eat insects. So they play a big role in the control of the number of insects that we have. So next up, we're going to look into the conservation status of Eulipotifla. So if you look at the graph on the bottom, there are a total of 454 species, and of these, there's 76 which are globally threatened, which comes to 16.7%, which may not seem like a lot, but it is. And then if you look at the map on top, you can see that in most of the green areas, there's between 1 and 4 species, which is not very much. And in some areas, the white areas, there's actually none. And then there are only a few little places where there are up to 20-ish species. So lastly, we're going to go into our comparative analysis between Amphisbaenidae and Eulipotifla. So some similar traits that they share are low metabolic rates, which we talked about for Eulipotifla, and it's similar in Amphisbaenidae. They also both have an elongated body shape, which is typical in burrowing animals. And both of them have a tolerance to low oxygen. In Eulipotifla, they are just adapted to have low oxygen in their respiration systems. But Amphisbaenidae will actually use cutinous respiration, which is just breathing through the skin. And for our different traits, we know that Eulipotifla has specialized limbs for digging, but in Amphisbaenidae they actually have no limbs, and they move in a crawling motion and use their head to move the dirt. Amphisbaenidae also has tough scales, where Eulipotifla has fur or spines in the case of a hedgehog. And Amphisbaenidae preys on invertebrates, where we know that Eulipotifla is insectivorous. So, in conclusion, from what we have learned, we know that Eulipotifla holds an important role in the ecosystem, and some threats to their survival include habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. And these are all man-made things, so hopefully we will be able to save them if they ever are all globally threatened in the future. Thank you!